welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. My name's Harriet. If you're new here, then welcome, and if not, welcome back. Today I thought it'd be fun to do my 2020 favourite reads. Since I didn't have this channel last year, I know it's almost March in 2021, but we won't talk about that. So let's get started. The first book I wanted to talk about was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this book I picked up because I'd seen quite a lot of people say that it was really sad and emotional, and at the time I wanted something like that. It was my first time reading this kind of book and I absolutely loved it. I have also read Daisy Jones and the Six, but it didn't give me the same feelings as what this one did. It's still very good, but it's just not the same. So this book follows a movie star called Evelyn Hugo. She's kind of like a Marilyn Monroe figure, or that's how I pictured her. And it's following her life through an interview process that's done by a woman called Monica Grant. So we get to learn a little bit about the interviewer, and we also get to obviously hear about Evelyn Hugo's life story. And you would expect the main focus to kind of be around her 7 husbands, but it's actually more to do with just her general love life and how she made her way to the top and what she had to do to become famous. So it's a really emotional read. I really enjoyed it. It is very sad and there are some very dark themes in here, so that would be something to consider if you do want to read this, but I do definitely recommend it. It is really good. I think what I liked most about it was how flawed the characters were, so they felt really genuine. I would have liked to get a little bit more from Monique. We didn't get to see a lot of her, and I didn't find her character was too strong, but Evelyn's was so much stronger that it didn't really matter anyway. But yeah, the character development and their story arcs are incredible. I really enjoyed reading it. The next read is part of the classics that I read in 2020, which kind of got me back into reading. So it is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. So this book, it is actually quite a long one, but when I read it, I really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were incredible. You mainly follow the 4 March sisters. You get to see the lives of Jo, Beth, Meg and Amy, and you also get a glimpse into the life of Laurie, who is their next door neighbour, and they become friends with him. And it's just from their childhood all the way up to when they are a little bit more grown up and mature, kind of like a coming of age story. There are some, again, dark themes in this, not as much as the Evelyn Hugo book, but it's full of romance, heartache. There are some really sad bits. I did cry a little bit. But if you're looking for a really peaceful, emotional book, then this is a really good read. The next book is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I really like this cover, and this was given to me by my boyfriend because he had read it, and he doesn't really read a lot, but he really loved this book. I found it was quite a short read, but it is a science fiction, which I don't read a lot of, and I understood it completely, which was good. That's usually what I struggle with. It's again got some dark themes, it's really creepy, there are some really weird parts. I was a little bit freaked out when I was reading it. If you've seen the film, it's almost completely different. The story follows 4 women that were on the 12th expedition into this mysterious zone called Area X. No one knows a lot about it, but all of the expeditions before this one, either people have not come back or there's been strange things going on and they have to document their entire time there. But it was a really fun read. It was amazing. One of the very few sci-fis that I've ever read, but it was great. I loved every second of it. Yeah, it was a really fun read. I do definitely recommend this. I know there are 2 other books in the, I think it's a trilogy. I do want to try them one day, but I've got so many other books on my TBR at the moment that I'm not quite there yet, but maybe one time. The next book you might have seen around because it is beautiful. It's Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I hope I said that right. Obviously it's got a little count in it. That's why I picked it up. I saw it in Waterstones and it just looked so pretty that I had to pick it up. I've recently seen that there's a Tales of the Cafe, which is the second one. It's got a gold cover. I do definitely want to pick that up. That is on my must reads. I really want to read it because I did enjoy this book. This was the first piece of Japanese literature that I've read, and I have bought more since then. A lot of them are cat themed, I'm not gonna lie, but this was the first one. In this book, we follow a couple different tales of workers and visitors of a cafe that promises that you can go back in time. So you can time travel, but there's a lot of rules. So that is why not a lot of people do it. I thought that was a very interesting way of explaining why it's not more popular. I thought that was really fun. So again, this is kind of like a slice of life. You get to see different points of view. I will say there's not enough time, because it is a short book, not enough time to get attached to certain characters. So it wasn't super emotional or really deep, but it did make me think a lot more about life, which was nice. I find that a lot of Japanese literature does that, kind of gives me the time to step back. So yeah, overall I think it's really beautiful. It's a lovely read. and I do recommend it if you want something just nice and warm and cozy. It's perfect for a rainy day when you're just inside with a little blanket and a cup of tea or coffee. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Next is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I've been listening so much to the Kate Bush song after reading this, which was in springtime last year, so I have listened to that song an awful lot. It's actually crazy, but it is a good song. Anyway, I'm sure most of you know what this story is about, but just in case you don't, we follow Cathy and Heathcliff from when they are younger all the way up until they're a little bit older, and we basically follow their relationship with each other, friendships, and relationships with other people and how it affects their relationship with each other. It's kind of like them finding a balance between what they want and their stubbornness. Yeah, I wouldn't say they are the most likeable characters, but at the same time you can't help but like them. The writing in it is super beautiful. It is a classic for a reason. You know, lots of people read it because it is so wonderful. Yeah, so this one is full of darkness, moodiness, perfect winter book, although I read it in the spring and it was still very good. It's got lots of betrayal in there, romance, heartache. It's great. The only thing I would say is it isn't the easiest thing to read. There's some older language in there. There were some bits I had to read a couple of times, but it didn't take away from the story for me. If anything, it made me appreciate it more. Yeah, that's Wuthering Heights. And then the last one is the Tales of Earthsea series. This I'm going to do a video on, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it was the first year that I read it and I adore it. I also picked up this edition which has like images in there, illustrations, and it's also got the short stories. So that's the hardback one I talked about in my first video, I think. Yeah, there's going to be a whole video of this. I think it'll be my next one that I come out with after this. So keep an eye out for that one. And that's it. I did read quite a lot of other classics, but I have spoken about them in my previous video, so I didn't want to put them in here and repeat them. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a really great day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! There is some drilling going on outside right now, and it's driving me crazy. And now there's a lorry going past, and I'm actually going crazy.